What up? It's your boy DJ Bandz, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastards. Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm in NY like in with my whole clique. See, that's how limit.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got our family, DJ Bandz, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro?
What's up with it? How y'all feeling?
Man, coolin', fam, coolin'. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Word, yes, sir. And man, you DGB fam, bro. Like, this so long overdue.
Nah, for
You know
sure
what I
it
mean?
is.
So-
For sure it is. Y'all been trying to get me up here for a minute.
Yeah, bro. It's so much history linked between you, DGB, just everything we both been doing just over the years, man. So it's only right, you know what I mean, that you come and bless the porch, bro.
No, for sure, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, man. So Bandz, all right. So you from Chicago? Know that you from Chicago, but I really want to tap into, you taking your talents and music and everything in the culture, taking you to places like Lagos, Nigeria, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, like I was out there. I mean, shit, man. That specific situation, I was out there for a show. And like the shit ended up not going right. It was like a big ass storm out there and shit. So like I just was moving around. I got a good relationship with Burna Boy, so I had just pulled up at Burna Boy house and rotated with him for a couple days and shit. So like I got in the studio with him for 2 days.
Yeah.
Went to some shows with him, party. Roddy Ricch was there. Like we just always just kicking it and vibing out. So
Word.
yeah, man, that was a cool experience, man.
Yeah, man. Like, did you ever think that when you was in the Shy, doing your thing early on and, having these dreams to like really be impactful in the culture, did you ever think that it would be taking you to different continents though, bro?
Man, initially, like, I didn't know. Like, I was kind of more so just taking everything day by day.
Yeah.
Like, and just seeing where every day take me next, you know what I'm saying? Because I was starting to do a lot of traveling just like within, but it was more so like I go to Atlanta and then like country towns and shit like that. It started like with shit like that.
Yeah.
And like I had already been to like New York and shit, Cali and shit. And as the years went on, it just started to become like bigger and bigger, like
Yeah.
bigger and better type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I can dig it, man. Just the elevation continuing to level up every time. Word. So taking it back, to Chicago, like what part of the city you from, bro?
I'm from the South Side. I'm from the Hundreds. to be
Okay.
exact.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, word. Do they still call it the Wild Hunters, bro? Or is that an old school?
That's a old school like saying from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Wild Hunters. But yeah,
Word.
I guess some people still say that. That
Word.
shit just kind of like, to me, it's like that's kind of like played out though. You know?
Yeah, no, I can dig it. I mean, shit, the whole city is about that. So it's like shit, kind of any side you go on
It's wild. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I can dig it, man. And what was life like for you growing up, bro? Like, how was your come up?
I mean, like I'm from the projects and shit. I'm from the Outgale Gardens. Like that's where I was like raised up at and shit.
Yeah.
And it was like for me, like I was raised up around like my older cousins and shit. So I was kind of just like younger. Them was like my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I kind of was like raised up under them, man. My cousins and shit, they always had shit going on. Like my cousins, they was all hustling and doing their thing, and like I was the youngest one, so we in the trenches, but I ain't gonna never say I was struggling for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I was around a lot of shit that was above me at a younger age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I was there, but we was always figuring it out. Like, I was the kid in the hood who had leather coats and Jordans and shit going to school, and like, even though I was living in the trenches, I wasn't fucked up though.
I got you. And at what point did you know that you wanted to tap into music? Like when did you tap into your creativity? Was it early or was it something later on?
Nah, it was later on. Like, I always been a fan of music. Like I always was just hella into music as a kid coming up. Like, I used to spend my own money that I did make on my own off whatever hustles I had at the time coming up from being young into teen years. And I used to always spend my money on like CDs and shit like that, but actually being hands-on with music didn't start until I turned 18. My cousin, shout out DJ Victoriouz.
Oh, okay, word.
Like when I got out of high school and shit, I started living with him and my auntie and shit, and he had already been doing this since we was 15. Like he was already going on tour with Ludacris and being on the road and DJing the clubs before he was even old enough to really be in the club and shit. So like around the time I graduated high school, me and him started being together like every day. Mm-hmm. Then I started living with my auntie and them. And so I'm just moving around with him every day, seeing this shit. Yeah. And he never really like taught me because he really didn't have to, but I kind of like was so observant. I'm watching him do the mixtapes right there in our basement every day. I'm watching him practice every day. I'm going to the club with him every day. And then like by the time it was time for me to like move out and do my own thing, I kind of like, I never even really asked him to teach me. I just went and bought everything and taught myself.
Word.
It was a running around with him for a year, 2 years, you know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing everything firsthand. And then sometimes when even like, I'll sit there and like teach myself when he like not doing nothing. I'll teach myself, I'll sit there and practice on his equipment and shit. So it was like after that, I had been around it so long to the point I had felt like I had already knew it, and I did.
Right. And so did you start out learning how to DJ or producing? Like what was first for you?
Shit, rapping.
Word, okay.
Rapping first, and then like I was trying producing first, and I was ass. Like that shit was whack at first.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, cause I was trying to teach myself. So it took from like the DJing, I got equipped to that more easier because it's like I'm watching a professional every day do this shit every day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I started grasping that a lot faster, and then I ain't started back taking producing serious again to probably like 2015, 16.
Word. Because it seemed kind of natural for producers to be DJs or vice versa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like when you learn like all those different machines and the keyboards and all of that, it seems like blending music and even just have understanding like the beats per minute and all of that just kind of comes.
They go hand in hand, yeah.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And early on when you was rapping, like, were people gravitating to that? Like, was people really fucking with it?
Yeah, like, it was like, I feel like when I was rapping, it was more so some hobby shit, like me and my guys and shit, like me and my niggas and shit, we just would be like fucking around, but like everybody out my crew and the niggas I used to be around at the time, they all wanted me to take the shit serious because niggas looking at it like, DJ Victoriouz, your cousin, you rapping, like, that shit could work.
Right.
I just was like, nah, I'm cool on that shit.
Yeah.
Cause I ain't really like a spotlight person. Mm. Like I'm slick shot for real, so I don't like, and then it's a lot of politics and loopholes and shit you gotta go through to make it to be a rapper, and that shit a lot of hard work that I wasn't trying to put the work into to become.
Yeah, no, I can dig that. So then, at what point did you know that, like, as a DJ, like that you was ready and that you was ready to like rock crowds? Like when did you start, even, DJing like at events or parties or whatever?
It was like right away. we had a club in Chicago called the Press Box at the time. And like that's where I really started the like DJ clubs at. We was doing the Press Box. That shit was probably like 12 years ago or some shit.
Yeah.
And that was like right away when I started DJing. Like the owner, he was from my hood. Yeah, the owner was a nigga named Bose. He was from my neighborhood. So he like, shit, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to do it, like, go ahead.
Yeah.
So he started letting me DJ at the club, and it just went from there. It started from there, and the next thing that I started to grasp was like doing the mixtapes. So it was like I kind of was doing both at the same time. I'm really like taking a page out my cousin's book and trying to do everything.
Yeah, no, I can dig that. Cause you were, I mean, the mixtape era was, you know, I mean, that the blog era and the mixtape era, you know, like were so monumental just, you know, for the culture. And you had like a huge impact, you know, on that as well. When you were first doing mixtapes, was it with cats like from the neighborhood that was rapping, or was it like from cats in Chicago that was already known? Like, how was you tapping into different artists?
Nah, it was like, cause the first mixtapes that I was doing, it was all like niggas that was pretty like decent, cause like Durk had already had, I mean, Victoriouz had already had like Durk and Chief Keef and Cuz like he like, all right, I see you doing DJ shit, but it's like, you ain't finna like ride my wave though. Like you gotta find your own motion with this shit.
Yeah.
So it was like he had already had and then had like all of them. And then like a lot of them and shit I had already knew just from being outside. Then like I went to grade school in Inglewood, which is where Durk and like a lot of them from. Wow. So like a lot of the niggas that's OTF, I had already knew them from being kids. Like I went to school in Inglewood from 2nd to 8th grade.
Gotcha.
So I went to school with a lot of them that end up being OTF. And I had kind of just started fucking with the younger wave. So it was like Durk, it was Durk, Fredo, Santana, and Reese them, and then like I started fucking with like Rondo No. 9 and LA Capone and the whole 600 movement.
Yeah.
And made that my thing.
Word. So took the next set of artists that was, you know what I'm saying, that was gonna bubble from the city and started working with them and building your name through that. Word. At what point did you start producing?
And like really started taking it serious like 2016.
Okay.
Like 2016 for real.
And who was the first cast you was producing for?
Shit, them.
Yeah, Lil Reese, Fredo, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, it was the circle. But like I ain't really get like, I take that back. My first production, damn, I can't remember the song, but I remember the artist, man. My first song got produced was a nigga from Chicago named Young Diesel.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember him. He's from the east side. He's from the east side. That was the first nigga who ever rapped on any of my shit. A nigga named Young Diesel. He's from the east side.
Yeah. And do you remember like was y'all in the studio working together? Was you like cooking up like while he was working, or how did that come about?
Yeah, like I had did a beat, and at the time he was just like supportive of me getting in the mix of what was going on anyway. He like, oh, you Victoriouz, cuz? Like, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like, he was on some shit like that, so yeah. He was supportive. So the first beat I made, that motherfucker was trash too to me. He got on that bitch and he made that bitch sound like something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could dig that. A lot of people think that, or a lot of people get the misconception, like if you got family or somebody close, that's got motion and that's doing something that like you should automatically kind of, get put in place, for that. But can you talk about just more about, you having to like be like heavy on your work ethic and really, like making a name for yourself, to not like ride the coattails of, somebody else?
I mean, I don't never feel like you should ride a nigga wave anyway. And then like, what I learned from my cousin with the whole like find your own way type shit, like now I kinda like teach what was taught. Like don't make it easy on no nigga. Like cause that's how niggas get lazy.
Yeah.
That's how niggas start to get start to feel like they entitled and shit like that. Like cuz ain't make that shit easy for me at all. It's like he brought me in the environment and the rest was like up to me.
Right.
Like from the craft part of it and then like rubbing shoulders and shit, like he brought me in the environment, everything else was up to me to take advantage and try to make something out of it.
No, that's real. Like, you know, it's like the saying, like, you know, teach a man to fish, you know what I'm saying, never be hungry. So it's like, shit, you just put me in the right spot and shit, I'm gonna be able to take it from there.
Yeah, it's like one of them things where cuz brought me to the water, I taught myself how to swim.
Yeah. So when you were coming up too, or when you were starting to make a name for yourself within the music biz, Chicago was being really well known for this drill music, for this drill movement, which, I mean, shit, it took Chicago by storm. I mean, it took the whole industry by storm, you know what I mean? Can you just talk about like the impact of drill music like in Chicago and just to the culture?
I mean, shit, the impact at this point of what we started, shit, in 2012, it's worldwide, man. That shit, I don't feel like we got enough credit because I feel like we fathered this shit. Like, a lot of the rap game, we fathered this shit. Like, if it wasn't no Chief Keef and Durk and Lil Reese and Fredo, like, if that would have never started, a lot of the rappers that came out and that's big today probably wouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
And this shit that got so big to the point where it's like, use the Lagos Nigeria situation, for example. Like, that shit, I get on my Instagram every day and I see this shit with kids in Nigeria, kids in Ghana, like they OTF, they rocking OTF shirts, they got OTF chains, how they got them, I don't have a clue, but they got them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They got everything, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just showing like, this shit bigger than Chicago, where we started at, and now this shit is not a nationwide thing, but this shit done got global.
Yeah, you say UK drill and all that, yeah. Folks everywhere like following that way.
Yeah, like people that kind of started their own like they own waves of the drill, like that ain't really like ours.
Yeah.
I mean, but I embrace it all. Like I ain't no hater.
Yeah.
Some of it they done kind of watered it down a little bit, but it's like they still keeping what we started going. You know what I'm saying? So I still embrace the fact that 12 years later they still pushing drill music.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And it seemed like a lot of bloggers throughout the years were sort of, I would say, almost like romanticizing drill music. When I say it like that, I mean cats, you know, doing these vlogs, trying to tell some of the inside stories about what the actual raps is about, but was damn near pushing it to where they were almost instigating like more beef. You know what I mean?
Because how we came out, that shit had never been done before in rap history.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was ever this many rappers that it was like, we could vividly see they living the shit that they rap about. Right. It ain't like no, well, you gotta sit back and be like, well, damn, he rap hard as hell. I wonder if he really like that. You could see that shit.
Right.
Like, not only can you feel it in the music, but you see it because now social media it brings you so close to niggas' lives, and you seeing like your favorite rapper on the block, your favorite rapper. Cause then it wasn't really a filter on Instagram then. Like when we first came out, niggas was on that bitch with guns, niggas was on that bitch with a lot of shit that wasn't getting filtered at the time, and niggas like, damn, this shit like something we never seen before. Right. And even us coming out, we impacted so many lives, man. Like look at DJ Academics, for example, like.
Yeah, I didn't want to say his name, but that's, you know, who I'm damn near talking about when I say like bloggers glorifying the drill music and damn near blowing up their platforms off of drill.
Yeah, it's more than him though. It's a few others, but he probably the best example from it. That man, then at this point probably rich or damn near rich off starting from like talking about drill music, like blogging about drill music. Like he the one started the war on Chirac shit, like, and look at him. That shit started from that.
Right.
And it's like, I don't, like, even like with that, I embrace that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I embrace that shit too. If you was able to make a way off what we started too, it's like, shit, kudos to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, but then, you know, like I'm conflicted with it, man, because then you see, I forget this cat name, but like there's this dude that made like the King Von documentary, and I actually just seen him. He was with Adam 22 on damn, which podcast was that? With my guy Mav Hoffa and all them when they sit in the barbershop. And I just feel like, man, especially like if you're not of the culture, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people.
Now that, like that's I feel like now that shit, for example, that's a little overboard.
Yeah.
Cause it's more speculating to it than
right.
These like more conspiracy theories than real facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like niggas that do shit like that are like police to me.
Yeah.
Like some of the blogs I can understand it. You on some clickbait shit, like so. Some of the shit that you say or post might go viral just on some clickbait shit and you trying to do it on that type of time. But once you get to talking about murders and things of that nature, you down there on some police activity. Like that type of shit I don't really respect for real.
Yeah, no, I can dig it. One of my partners told me that in Chicago, if you reach the age of 25, you damn near considered an OG.
OG, for sure. For sure.
Huh.
Like, by the time I was 25, I had already lost like a lot of the niggas who I grew up with, and like my best friend, R.I.P. Gotti, like my best friend, and like by the time I was 25, I had lost a big chunk of people that I loved and that grew up around me and shit like that. So that's 100% facts.
And how do you feel about people saying that they're trying to ban drill music? Do you think that's even possible? Do you think you see they like trying to censor it more, trying to, you know, and people have talked about literally banning it?
It's impossible. It's fucked up as it is, because a lot of this shit done been replicated. It's too fruitful.
Yeah.
Like, because it's controversial. And shit, that's some shit that been going on since the beginning of time. Shit, controversy, that shit sell.
Yeah.
This shit go on since motherfucking Pac and Biggie. This shit still going on to this day. Drake and fucking Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Like, that's just one thing, because you can't put it's like you can't, how do you ban it?
Right. Nah, for real. And I mean, hip hop is the expression like of the culture. It's the expression of the streets. So whether we agree that people should be, you know, maybe spitting a more positive message or telling more stories about other things, I mean, at the end of the day, it's people rapping about what they seeing, what they feeling, and what's, you know, around them. So
yeah. So if it's like niggas telling them type of stories of how they grew up, it's trenches everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like the same shit a nigga in Chicago rapping about. A nigga from Memphis could feel that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
A nigga from Atlanta could feel that shit. So it's like, it's relatable.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna always make it be like impossible get rid of and ban,
No, real.
no matter how explicit it may be.
Yeah, no, it's real. I mean, shit, I'm from Milwaukee, and all the stories I hear in this music and everything, I mean, it's shit I done seen or done lived through, or, you know what I mean, or know partners that done, you know, went through it. So it's like none of it's far-fetched, you know what I mean? It's crazy how, you know, back in the day when rappers was beefing, or, you know, when cats would be talking about other rappers, they be calling them studio gangsters and, you know, all that. But now cats is making sure to, all right, you gonna know that like what I'm speaking is real.
Real, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like growing from, you know what I mean? You know,
yeah, now that shit done definitely elevated, and there's pros and cons to it, cause like it make it a little difficult for the people who giving the money to want to give it sometimes.
Yeah.
Cause they might look at it like, damn, this nigga getting X amount of millions on YouTube and couple million streams a week.
Yeah.
He worth, but then that's when they get to playing, cause it might be like, shit, a nigga might be worth, new artists come out and they doing the numbers, they might be worth 5 million, but they scared to give it to you cause they like, shit, he might die or go to jail next week.
Yeah, for real.
Fuck it, let's give him 2.
Right.
Let's give him 2, and then a nigga who ain't never had nothing to take that shit, because shit, it's something they never had anyway. It's still life-changing money, but yeah, that shit, it's pros and cons to it.
Yeah. So man, on your IG and just shit, when you out and about, man, they call you Mr. Put That Shit On. Have you always been tapped into fashion? Has that always like been like a part of your, you know what I mean? Like,
nah, 100%. Like, I've been dressing myself for as long as I can remember. Like, even when I was a kid, like when Rockaway and Echo and all of that shit was in style back then, Sean John, like I was always putting my own shit together, cause like I told you, like I'm going off what I see my big cousin up, like I'm seeing them wear this shit, and I'm like, I was in a household with 3 of my older boy cousins, so it's like I'm watching them. I'm all right, Jordans, Averex jacket, Pelly jacket. Back then, I couldn't get a Pelly. I was too small, but I could get an Averex, so I'm like, shit, I need me an Averex, I need me some Jordans, I need me some Tims, and I was putting this shit together at the time, how I saw them doing it. And like over the years, that just always been my thing. I always cared about my appearance. I always had a hustle, I always knew how to get some money. Like, any of my real family will tell you, like I've been getting money on my own since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like I was taking my coins and I'm like, shit, I gotta get me $100 so I get me some J's. I gotta get me this so I get me a Rockaway jacket, a Pelly, like Averex or something. Like, I always was coming like that my whole life. It just like as I got older, that shit just elevated. It's been in me. It's something I always show interest in.
And when you go shopping, are you the type of cat, do you put outfits together or do you pick pieces and put pieces together? You know what I mean?
Both. It's my style. This shit is like unorthodox for real. This shit unorthodox. Like, I might be able to put an outfit together off a hat. Like, if I see a hat that I want, I might go out or see the shit on the internet. I might see a Chanel hat and I'll be like, I'm finna make a whole outfit to revolve around this hat. And I just do that shit. It don't be no system to it. That shit just always been easy for me.
Yeah. I can dig that. And tapping back into the mixtape era, now you were really instrumental, you know, during that mixtape era. I know you were doing like a lot of tapes with Hoodrich, you know what I mean? In the beginning, you was going by Hoodrich Bandz, right?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Shout out Hoodrich.
Word. And can you talk about like your connection with Hoodrich and you know, how that came about?
So my brother Hoodrich Keem, shout out Hoodrich Keem, like when we was coming, me and Victoriouz used to come down to Atlanta, like probably like 2012, 13-ish, and like, he was the wave, like, we was the lit niggas in Chicago, he was the lit nigga down here, and he was kind of just showing us the way.
Yeah.
Like, introducing us to all the artists and shit. Like, the artists had already knew who DJ Victoriouz was, some knew who I was, and we started coming down here every weekend with him. He was like the same equivalent to Victoriouz down here. So he was already working with the Pee Wee Longways and Young Thugs and all of that type shit. So
because Pee Wee did Victoriouz's drop.
Yep. DJ Victoriouz, we be in the business.
Yeah.
So it's like, Keem would be taking us around the whole wave of rappers down here. We was coming down here, fucking around in the lobby. We at Pee Wee spot. Like we watched a lot of that shit from that era that kind of blew everybody up.
Yeah, the whole lobby runners.
Yeah, we was in the lobby. We in the lobby. Like, so that shit kind of started with fucking with Hoodrich Keem, man. Then I kind of just became family to that. Like, Rip started fucking with me and kind of just adopted me into the Hoodrich family.
Yeah, I can dig that. And how'd you connect with Durk? I know you said that y'all was like from the same projects, but how'd you?
No. We ain't from the same projects.
Okay, my bad.
I connected with Durk through Victoriouz.
Gotcha.
Like he did his first mixtape. It's so crazy because my first Twitter page, like I was watching Victoriouz do Durk first mixtape in the basement. He doing that shit in the basement. And on my first Twitter page, I remember finding Durk on Twitter or whatever, and I DM'd him like, I followed him, I'm like, yo shit hard, like, I'm right here with DJ Victoriouz, he doing your mixtape, like, your shit hard as hell. And like I told you, a lot of the niggas from his hood I went to school with.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like connected, and me and him got super locked in through Rondo number 9, cause that was like both of our little brother or whatever. Like I met Rondo when he first started rapping, and he was already locked in with Durk. And like he just had a bond with both of us, and the bond just got tighter with me and Durk off through Rondo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was one of the things he emphasized on when he went to jail. Like y'all make sure y'all stay together. Like no matter what happened with me, y'all two stay together.
Yeah. Right. And then how'd you become a member of OTF? How'd that come about?
Shit, just when we stayed together over the years, when I started being his DJ, and it was like, we was locked in like this off the rip. Like, we built a bond together just off the rip. When I started DJing for him, like, we became brothers off of that.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't want me work like fucking with nobody else. Like at the time when we first locked it in, he like, man, you with me. Like, and it was like, he was giving me the flow to like really handle his music and handle everything that revolved around him real closely, and everybody around him, his brother D-Thang at the time, like we all just became family together, and like it just went from there.
Word. Within the mixtape era, like what's one of your favorite mixtapes that you worked on?
One of my favorites.
So many legendary ones.
Damn. Probably. Damn, that's a good ass question. Probably Fredo Santana, Walking Legend. It was me and DJ Screen, Fredo Santana.
Yeah.
Yep, that's probably.
Yeah, Fredo was so ahead of his time, man. He was so hard, bro.
Yeah, that was probably the one, cause I think that was my first tape with Scream, and then that was my first Fredo tape too at the time. That's probably matter of fact, I'll take that back. It's probably I think Love Songs for the Streets 1. I think Love Songs for the Streets 1. It was hosted by me and DJ Drama.
Yeah.
And Drama don't do a lot of tapes with other DJs.
Right.
And like he showed love. He saying my name on there, so it's like you could tell. Like it's like, oh yeah, this official. This ain't no put together shit. So the one with me and DJ Drama, which is Love Songs for the Streets 1.
Nah, that's what's up. And I mean, I know, doing a tape with such a legendary cat like Drama, and then for y'all to be working on the tape together with Durk, you know what I mean? I know it just was like just a dope feeling, you know what I mean? Knowing that working with somebody so legendary, but then you guys are also building into legends yourselves and the legends that y'all are now, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That was history. Like, shout out DJ Drama for that, cause when we was coming out with the idea, I ain't even think that it was gonna happen for real. I'm like, man, Drama ain't gonna do that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, he that nigga. He don't even do tapes with y'all niggas, like, at the time. So, but he did it, and he fuck with me. So, shout out to DJ Drama for that.
Now, mixtapes were such a driving factor of marketing before cats would drop their official albums. Now, the way that it's set up, whether it's a mixtape or an album, you dropping it on Apple Music and Spotify and all of that. Do you think that the essence of the mixtape is lost though, and that it, you know, is something that's missed, like in the game, the way that it was set up before?
Yeah, cause they done made the mixtape game kind of too corporate.
Yeah.
It kind of took the fun out of a lot of shit, and then it hurt the DJs too. It hurt the DJs too a lot, cause it wiped a lot of the DJs. It wiped the potential to make money off the table for a lot of DJs, because that was how a lot of us made money at the time, through like live mixtapes, that Piff, my mixtapes, hosting niggas shit, and the ones who had some motion on these platforms like a me or DJ Victoriouz and Bigger Rank and Scream, the OGs and shit like that. Like, well, we know we could probably get 10,000 to do a mixtape and put a full campaign. You all over the top of live mixtapes. You everywhere with the shit, blast to give you a whole rollout for your shit.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of took that off the table for a lot of DJs and probably made it hard for a lot of them to survive too. That's why a lot of guys who probably had the motion with that, you don't hear from them as much. You know what I'm saying? It probably made it hard for a lot of DJs to survive with them making it be all about it having to be on a DSP.
Right.
Probably like a little bit of everybody for real. It affected the artists, the DJs, even the people who had the platforms, like the owners of live mixtapes and my mixtapes and Spotify. Spinrilla and shit like that.
Shut down. They eventually shut down.
Yeah, cause they done made everything payola.
Right.
You gotta think, all of the platforms like that was probably generating so much money that they probably, all of the corporate shit looking at it like, damn, how can we tap in to this?
Right.
All these artists is getting on through these apps and these platforms that we ain't generating no money off of. And yeah, that really killed a lot of shit as far as like the quality though of music.
Yeah, no,
and the fun out of it for sure. Like, so now you kind of gotta, to do a project that give it that same type of feel, you gotta have either some power or some money or both.
Right.
Like the person recently that probably did that the best was probably like Metro with him and Future.
Yeah.
The project they just put out, it felt like one of them old mixtapes.
Right.
He throwing the drops in there, like he starting the records and then bringing them back, like, and it still feel like that old, like back in the day, like, oh yeah, it feel like a mixtape, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that motherfucker still hard as hell. That was an album.
Yeah. Nah, you starting to see like cats tap in and still get DJs to host their projects, even though like it's on the DSPs and all of that. So do you feel like there's even a difference between an album and a mixtape in this day and age? Is there a difference?
Shit, man, it's hard to say. No, I feel like at this point, what really matters is just the quality of the music, man. Like, cause I'm gonna go back to using the Metro and Future project, the We Don't Trust You shit. That was for sure an album.
Yeah.
That motherfucker went #1, and shit, that motherfucker probably gold, probably on the way to platinum by now, and the whole feel of it was like an old mixtape. It felt like an old Future mixtape. It felt like some real Atlanta shit.
Yeah.
But it was an album, so it's like it's all about the quality of the music now at this point.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Do you remember which song you produced that made you feel like, okay, like now I'm doing it. Like now I'm official. Now I got motion with this. People recognizing, you know, what I'm doing on this side.
Probably Shoulda Ducked with Durk and Pooh Shiesty.
Oh, word. Yeah.
Cause that was like the one that kind of got shit going on the producer side. That was the first one that made me some real money for real. Like not like the normal standard rate. Like I got a lot of shit happen for me off that song. So I say Shoulda Ducked with Durk and Pooh Shiesty.
Word. No, I can dig it. Say them publishing checks was coming in and everything.
Yeah. Got a deal off that shit, all type of shit. So.
Did you guys record that in the studio together?
Yeah, we did it at First Class Studios. We was at that time, we was always being in the same studio as Shiesty and them. Like we had the big room, and then like he had the other big room in the back. So like, I'll never forget it. Like I had bumped into Shiesty. I'm like, man, we need to do some shit. And he like, come on, whoa, whoa. So he was ready right then and there. And I went back into Durk room where all my shit was, and I started bouncing out the beat. And it just so happened like Durk heard the beat as I was bouncing it out, and he pull that up. I'm like, I was kind of stuck. I'm like, damn, I was finna give it to Shiesty. He like, man, pull the beat up. He like, shit, you got some more beats, give him another beat. So I'm like, all right, bet, I pull the beat up. Durk rap on that bitch. He started off and he never finished it. So I'm like, I just end up going in the back and get Shiesty. Cause I tell him like, shit, we can still put Shiesty on this bitch. And Durk was cool about it. He like, shit, go get him. I went and got Shiesty out his room, like, check it out. I'm like, I got something for you to hop on. So he coming out with us and shit. And the first day he was fried. His ass in that bitch fried. He was in there like rapping to it and shit, but he ain't finished it. He ain't finished the record, like. And then like the next day, cause we was having studio with them every day, like Chopper Gang, Big 30 and all of them, they was all in the back, like we was in the back and we was on the other side, they was in the back every day. And like the first day, he was so high, he ain't finished that motherfucker. And like, Durk called me like, shit, he like, I think I'm gonna put this song on the deluxe. He like, I think I'm gonna put the Shoulda Ducked record on the deluxe. He like, but Shiesty ain't finished it and shit. So I hit Shiesty right away, like, look, if you can finish that motherfucker, you gonna make the album. And that night, when we came to the studio, he finished that motherfucker, brought it in Durk room, played that bitch, and it was solid. So that was how that went.
Yeah. That 7220 album.
Yeah.
How did that come about? You know what I mean? Like,
man, like I pick all the music for Durk, so it was like we was having so many records at the time, and it's so crazy that I be picking the records, and the ones that's on there for me was actually his favorites. I felt like we had better records than the ones that was on the project. Those was actually his picks.
Right.
So like most of the time, I pick a big bulk of the records, and then like Smirk might be like, all right. And around that time, that's when everybody was flooding. Niggas was dropping 20 songs and shit like that. Like, so Smirk was on some shit like, all right, make sure this on there, and then like, long as my favorites on there, do your thing after that.
Yeah.
And like, most of the records that he picked was my records. Shootout at My Crib, Block List, and Smoking and Thinking. Smoking and Thinking, that was one of my favorites. I like that.
I got that in my notes as my favorite joint.
Yeah, Smoking and Thinking, that was my favorite out of the three. So I was with that, and then like a lot of the other records I just was picking out of the bulk of records that we have been doing over the time.
Yeah, word. I can dig it. How the Switches and Drake's song come about with Moneybagg Yo?
Durk was his first class studio again. That shit was really headquarters to get a lot of shit done at the time.
Word.
Cause a lot of niggas used to book first class. Bag, he had the back room that day where Shiesty usually would be, and we was on the other side, and it was just like Bag and Durk was just supposed to work that specific day, and Durk pulled that motherfucker up. He pulled that motherfucker up, and then Bag did his part, and Bag was like, man, I want to keep the record. You know, Smirk ain't tripping. Smirk like, shit, keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He wasn't thinking nothing of it. They were just working at the time, and sometimes that's how studio sessions be. Like, no matter who started the record, somebody else might end up taking the record. Like if niggas don't care type shit. So Smirk had started it, Bag hopped on it, and Smirk like, shit, I'm gonna keep the record. Smirk, okay, cool, and then shit, Bag, he did the A&R, and on that one he ended up taking the record, and then when it was about to come out, that's when we found out ESTG and Pooh Shiesty was on it, and he did that on his own.
Word. Man, now let's tap into the new single, man. I'm in New York like a Nick with my whole clique. Rob 49 killed that. But that new single, GTA, that you just put out with Rob 49, Skilla Baby, and Fivio Foreign.
Yeah, shout out Rob, Skilla, and Fivio. I was going to New York to work with Skilla on some records for his album, and we were just out there working, and there was one specific day, like Rob happened to be in New York at the same time, and I think we was going to Starless that night. I think we was going out to Starless, I believe, that night, and Fivio was coming to fuck with us. He was coming to pop out too. Yeah. So Skilla ended up, now when Rob pulled up, that was the first beat I played. He kicked it off, and then Skilla ended up coming next, and then Fivio ended up coming to the studio, and like it wasn't even no intention to do nothing with Fivio. Like, he was pulling up so we could hear it out, like so we go out to the club and shit. And when we was in the studio, he rapping, like he just in that bitch freestyling. I'm like, shit, you might as well hop on the last verse.
Yeah.
He did it. I got that motherfucker, put it on my hard drive, and then like when it was time to, I just ended up dropping it. All three of them was cool with it. They came out, all shot the video for me, like just off the love, and put that shit together and put it out.
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up, man. Dope visual too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So what's the plans? Like, are you planning on dropping like a full album sometime soon? Are you about to do like an album with like a bunch of artists that you be collabing with and all of that, or are you just on singles right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna roll out a few singles into an album. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go ahead and take that leap in and put a whole album out. But I'm gonna start with the singles first though. I got a few more coming out. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll those into eventually dropping a project, man. It's gonna be coming soon though. I wanna put it out before the end of the year.
Word. And you've always been, whether you're, DJing for artists or producing, for different artists or putting these mixtapes together, it's always been more catered to the artist. What made you decide to take the stance to put yourself in the forefront and say, okay, now I'm about to, it's gonna be DJ Bandz featuring, these artists and doing it that way?
Kind of from like people that was around me, like Durk, for example. And then like he always was telling me like, why you don't try to put no records out of no shit? Like you got the relationship, like you got relationships with everybody on your own, like without me. So like he's like, why you ain't never try to put out no records like DJ Khaled or something like. And that was something that was just always in the back of my mind to try to do. It just like now I just kind of just took the leap of faith like. But a lot of people I fuck with around me, R.I.P. King Von, like Von used to tell me that too, like, and I just never did it. You know what I'm saying? So a part of me kind of feel like I'm doing this for him in a way, and like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he was one of the people who used to be telling me like to do the shit. Like he heavily used to be trying to put that on me. So.
Yeah. I can dig that. I mean, when you do so much work, put in so much work for other people, but then people see the potential in you to step out. It's like it's almost like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like shit. Now I know you were saying earlier that you more like a in the background cat. Like you don't really want to be in the forefront. But then stepping outside of your comfort zone usually brings, like great results, you know what I mean? So what like kind of pushed you to get outside of your comfort zone and actually do this?
I mean, shit, like I had just said, like people around me, for example.
Yeah. Like
people around me, they made me want to do it, and then like I just don't like being like in front of the cameras and shit like that, but it's like everybody know me. So it ain't like I'm a alias nigga. Like everybody know me. Like when I pop out, like everybody fuck with me and shit. So it kind of made it a little easy. It ain't nothing that I had to think too hard on. But I just had to do it. I just had to step out my shell and just step out there and do it.
Word. What kind of dude was King Von, man? What kind of guy was he, bro?
Yeah, Von was a different type of nigga, man. Gangsta as they come, but as real as it get. You know what I'm saying? Like he cared about his like everybody around him. He cared about his niggas, he cared about his sisters, he cared about like everybody. Like I feel like if he could help the world, he could. Yeah. Like him being who he was and how big he was, he'll walk in the room and treat the nigga who cleaned the floor with the same type of energy he'll get to the nigga who owned the building. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why and a lot of times you wouldn't know what to expect from him. Like niggas be, oh, King Von, and then he come do an interview, nigga, oh, King Von. And by the end of the interview, he smiling, the person he interviews, they smile and laugh like, damn, I ain't know what to expect from you. Like, you really cool. Like, I'm watching whatever I see on the internet, and Von really was like, he was a happy person. You know what I'm saying? Like he had spent a lot of his time incarcerated over the years, so like he was enjoying this shit. This wasn't like no job for him. This shit was like fun. Like he doing shows. He putting albums out. He going state to state. He getting money. Like this shit was fun to him. Yeah. Like this shit was really like, it was like a dream come true. So it was like, Von was just a different type of nigga, bro. He was different.
And I saw on your Instagram you had posted something about his son graduating, and you were supporting that.
Oh yeah, Lil Dave Von, yeah. He just graduated from pre-K.
Word.
Yeah. Shout out my nephew, man.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons you've learned?
Just period?
Yeah, just period, yeah. Whether it's been in the streets, whether it's been in the music industry, you know what I
mean? You get out what you put in. Like, you get out what you put in. Like, okay, if you out here going hard, I don't give a fuck how difficult it might get at times. You might want to give up. It seems like it ain't working. Like you get out what you put in. Eventually your time will come. Eventually all the work that you putting into whatever it is you put it into, it'll start to come back. You will start to receive some type of blessings back from the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you might be a nigga who rap, DJ, produce. You might do this shit for 10 years and then get that one song that changed your whole life, and you probably had trials and tribulations, ups and downs that made you like, man, should I stop? Should I quit this shit? Like, me, for example, like, I'd have been living out my car doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a perfect example of what you get out is like what you put into it, like you'll get out of it type shit. Like, I've been homeless chasing my dreams, you know what I'm saying? And I knew how to get money. I knew how to get money other ways. It's just like I got to a point of time where I just didn't want to do none of the other shit I knew how to do no more. To be on a positive road and a positive path and chasing my dreams. So it's like, just stay consistent, man, and put that time and that grind in, man. You can't cheat that shit.
Yeah, nah, that's real. Definitely can't cheat it. And karma can be heavy, you know what I mean? So definitely, you know, wanna stay like on a higher vibration, stay in a positive mode, so that when those accolades, when the riches, when the success and all that comes in, it comes in just how, like you said, like what you put in is what you know, get out. Nah, that's real. That's real. How important is and has discipline been for you throughout your life and through your career? Because I mean, you said you was homeless working on this, so I know it had to be a lot of discipline in place to like get yourself out of that position to, you know, get to where you are.
Hell yeah! I mean, that specific thing is detrimental to the cause. Like, I was doing a lot of shit at the time ago, and I'm sleeping out my car chasing this shit, but I still was like, I was addicted to lean and all type of shit, like, and I was still trying to chase that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it took for me to just down to be like, it's some shit I gotta let go, and it's some shit I gotta change if I want to get to that next level. Or like, at the point I was at that point, it's like I need to get myself out the ground first. Like, I'm still trying to get high off the drink, and this is back then. So a nigga was still sipping, acting all type of shit. This was back then. I'm trying to still chase that shit and still do what I'm trying to do, and the nigga ain't even got nowhere to lay their head. So it was like I had to cut out a lot of things to really get focused. And even to the point I'm at now, it still be like that.
Yeah.
And it ain't to that extent, of course, at this point, but it might be some shit where it's like I might have to stop going out and partying as much, or even though sometimes that could be tied into a nigga career, but it might be like I might be overdoing it. I might be doing some shit without a purpose. Right. And it's like I need to cut the fun down and just lock back in studio, and I need to make sure I'm making these albums and I'm getting these records done, and I might just go through a spurt where I'm just having too much fun and be like, all right, cut the fun and lock back in to get focused. Yeah,
no, I can dig it. No, that's super important to be able to step back and actually see that and hold yourself accountable, and then take the proper actions, because shit, a lot of times you could just get lost in it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'd have been lost plenty of times.
Yeah, it's an everyday struggle, dog. It's a everyday fight, you know what I mean, to stay on the right side of things and just stay on point, you know what I mean? Like, it's never okay, I got it, you know what I mean? It's always working towards it, working towards being better, you know what I mean? That's really what I'm trying to say. What else you working on, bro? What else you got coming up?
Primarily, it's the album. We about to drop Durk album pretty soon. It's gonna be coming soon. So we working on that. We'd have been working on that for quite a while. So that's about to drop soon. My album, and we're gonna have another King Von album coming soon too. that's where I'm at with it right now. That's what's the next to come.
Well, I can dig that. I can dig that. Another thing I saw was that you be on your fitness journey too. I saw that in your vlogs. You know, what I mean, I know that's tied into the discipline as well.
Yeah. That specific thing right there done taught me a lot of discipline. I actually, man, we've been so busy the last couple months. I ain't gonna lie, I done fell off. I was looking like Hercules probably like a couple months ago. It ain't been the same lately because I've just been so tied up with work. But
Yeah.
That's one of my main hobbies to do, and I'm about to get back heavy into that too. Y'all gonna see that on my Instagram too.
Yeah, word. Nah, and keep them vlogs coming too, bro, because you inspiring cats with that, you know what I mean? Showing them like, shit, where you can get to from, you know, where you done came from.
Yeah, nah, I'm about to, I got another one coming. I'll probably drop another one in about a week or so.
Word.
Showing all of this shit.
Man, what's some things that, or what's something that, how can I say this? What's something that fulfills you in life more than money?
My family.
Word.
Yeah, like my son, he's 7.
Okay.
And he kind of know what everything is now. So, like just watching him grow up, like and he got a lot of my mannerisms. He looked just like me and shit. So it's like watching myself grow up all over again, type shit. So that's one of the main things, like taking care of my people. Like I still got a lot of my people back home in Chicago, and they like really depending on me for real. So
yeah,
that's why I get my fulfillment. Like everybody always told me, like the people close to me and shit, like I get enjoyment out of helping other people. So even like the shit I'm doing for myself, even like the shit I'm doing, I don't even really feel like this for me for real. Like I don't even think I enjoy this shit as much as it might seem. I'm just going, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this to be able to take care of my people and my people to live a certain lifestyle that I never had and they never had. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of bringing this shit to life for them. Like,
yeah.
Some of my people been in the projects for all their life and that's all they know. Like I'm gonna be the one that break that curse. Like I'm gonna be the one that change everything for everybody. Like I want that shit to get to a point where it's like all my people from back home, the ones that I care about and close to, including my son and shit, like it get to a point where I had them in a fucking mansion in Miami or LA or somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Some shit they ain't never seen before.
Nah, for sure. What's some values that you started to teach your son, you know, that you want him to live by and, you know, want him to utilize to become a better man or to become a better man?
Like one of the values I say is kind of like don't be no quitter. Like don't be one of them niggas who start shit, don't finish it, or who say something and don't mean it. Like that'll probably be the main thing. Cause a lot of shit that I do, he watch me and he kind of wanna be just like me. So
yeah,
he be like, that I wanna do. I wanna be a producer. I wanna be a DJ. Like, so I be like, all right, if you wanna do it, you gotta do it. You can't quit. But like, you know, when you're in that young age, his interest is down there, everything that he see me interested in. So one week it might be basketball, next week it might be DJ or shit. Some weeks he might say all of it. I might be like, what you want to be when you get older? He might say everything that I like. You know what I'm saying? He want to be all that shit. So I just be keeping them, just try to keep them grounded, just keep them on that path of just knowing like whatever you start, try to finish it.
I can dig that. Shit, Bandz, you got any shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
Man, shit, shout out to the family, man. Shit, shout out to everybody that support me. Shout out OTF, that's the family for sure. Man, that's it, man. Like everybody who in my corner, shout out to y'all. That's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't in my corner, shit. Shout out to you too, cause you watching this shit happen. Hate it or love it.
Word. And one last thing I want to ask you. I know that you knew Pooh Long Lil Pooh,
Yeah,
who's
for sure. That was
one of
my
our
dog.
members of DGB. Can you just speak on bro a little bit, and you know what I mean, what you remember from bro?
Man, Pooh was a good nigga, man. Like, Pooh was always out here in the streets hustling. Like, Pooh was he was hustling. He was trying to bring everybody that he fuck with together. Like,
Absolutely.
he was good energy too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Pooh was definitely a good dude, man. Long live Pooh for sure.
Yeah, nah, for sure, bro. Long Lil Pooh, man. I always told him, man, you gonna run for mayor one day, dog. The way he'll be
Yeah,
moving
nah,
the
for sure.
campaign,
He
bro.
move around. He be moving and grooving for
Yeah,
sure.
for
Like,
sure.
and he gonna bring everybody together if he can. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this Bandz, this artist, he from New Orleans or he from here, he from Dallas. Like,
Yeah.
that was always Pooh.
Yeah.
Like, he just had good energy and a good vibe about him all the time that I ever was around him.
Yeah.
So,
Nah,
long
for
live Pooh, man.
sure. Yeah, man. Long live my dog. Bet. Well, man, DJ Bandz, appreciate you pulling up on us, man, jumping off the porch, bro.
Man, appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm in NY like a Nick with my whole clique. See, that's how niggas end up dead with pressure by the bitch.